Elon Musk and co., the Doge team, are entering the CIA today. But, Will, I think what we need to make sure people are clear about is this CIA, we're now months into a Trump administration CIA. They're welcoming in Doge. It's not like you think of it like a raid. This is not a raid. These are cordial now. These are an organization. Sure, no one wants to see jobs get cut. But you even had John Ratcliffe saying that he's coming in, and I'm sure he's happy to meet with him.
That's right. John Ratcliffe, who is the director of the CIA, actually early in the administration said, I would like to see the Doge team come to the CIA. He even did something similar with the buyout of staff at CIA to lower the workforce or give early retirement to individuals. I think that what you're going to see with this is another attempt by the media, though, to make this seem like something really nefarious is happening. You're going to see them say, how dare they allow Elon Musk, an unelected not bureaucrat, just unelected individual, even though the only person in the executive branch that is elected directly is the president of the United States and his running mate, the vice president. But pay that no mind.
But they're going you like you're stupid and don't know that.
And they're going to have access to every secret of America. And then Elon Musk is going to sell that out to China. And it's going to be terrible. This is the end of the road here. He's going to go start doxing all of the undercover CIA agents. No, they're going to go in there. They're going to talk about efficiency. And I think carrying over from our conversation on Friday, where you saw those very serious principles of Doge talking about what their work actually is. Yeah, I think every single government agency needs a little bit of a taste of that to make sure that we're not just wasting money here and there. I think this is going to be one of the harder lifts for the Doge team, because I think a lot of money is probably not directly enumerated in the budget of the CIA, but I think it is a good move, and we'll see what comes out of it.
There's a lot of talk about the defunding and whether what's good, what's bad. I was in LA over the weekend. I went to see a stage show, like a Broadway style show. At the end of the play, they came out and the cast did and said, hey, funding for Broadway Cares and AIDS research is under attack right now, and it's a very unsettling time. So if you can give, please consider giving, and give right now. We're going to have buckets that's going to get passed around like a church to donate to this. And I thought, exactly, this is how it's supposed to be. Do you care about the funding of AIDS research, or do you care about the funding of Broadway Cares and everything they're doing? Great. Make your donation. Put your money where your mouth is. You all just spent $150 to $250 on a ticket to see this play. This is how we are supposed to do charity. This is how we're supposed to do church. This is how the country works, which are when there are those specialty things and the government's not taking more of your money, you are able to make these kind of donations, support the kind of things that you care about, as a lot of us do. We don't rely on the federal government to give us that money. I'm not someone who's saying we need to go and cut everything. I think that there are some really great causes that the U.S. government does work with, that does great humanitarian aid. But what I really wish is that the American people would actually stick up for those organizations and not rely on the federal government to handle charity.
That's right. And to some degree, that's how the big government mentality has been able to creep, is that there are the ability to then start going and funding NGOs, which is almost comical to think that some of these non-government organizations would not exist or do not exist without government funding. So they should be quasi-government organizations, not non-government organizations. But the oversight breaks down at that point when you're looking at it from that perspective as well, because then your taxpayer dollars are going to a third party that is not government, that is not subject to the oversight and the checks and balances of our government. And so when you talk about, it's one thing to talk about charitable organizations or grants like that, and that's what's been the big headline from all of the first round Doge media blitz, is that those are also the easy things to find and correct, of like a government here, a grant here that the government shouldn't be funding. We can just get rid of that until, a lower court judge puts an injunction on it nationwide. But the real work, and I think where as we mentioned on Friday, that the Doge team should have done that style interview earlier to really get to the bottom of these are the types of things we want to look at, the systems within government, the way that our government operates, whether it be Social Security to the retirement program within the government to even now the CIA. Are there things we can get in there and find ways that we're operating that are stuck in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s and bring that up to modern standards for a host of reasons? One, to make it more secure, to make it go quicker, to save money. So when they talk about things like Social Security, that they want to find $300 billion or something that within Social Security, they're not talking about cutting $300 billion of benefit to the Social Security recipient. They're talking about how expensive it is to run that bureaucracy. When you're talking about 40% of the incoming calls being from people trying to commit fraud, when you talk about the way that things are handled on paper still, how it takes 9 months to retire someone from the government. Those are things that if they can be done quicker and more efficiently, save money. You don't have to spend that money of taxpayers to go in and do it this old way.
Let's go to Minerva, who's calling in Texas. Also a name of a character I saw in the play. Minerva, you're on the air.
I wanted to comment that I don't even watch the local news anymore because my blood pressure can't handle it. All the lies. It's wonderful when you open your eyes and you hear the lies. They're going to cut Social Security checks. They're going to cut this. And then they came and they did the picketing at Tesla this weekend and asked them what they believe in. They're like parrots. They just say what they see on the news, and I'm going, investigate it. It's lies.
Yeah,
and
Minerva,
everybody here follows.
You're exactly right. I have these conversations all the time, especially with a lot of people who say, hey, I'm open-minded. I want to hear your point of view. And you'll see a lot of those kind of baiting posts on social media now being like, look, I'm not going to try to fight you. I just want to know how you possibly can agree with what's going on. And then you have a discussion. You realize that their point of view is only a half-inch thick. They have no idea really what's going on, whether that's on this topic, whether that's what's happening in the Middle East. They are just, as you said, parroting the very brief, posts that they see on social media. They are parroting what they are seeing on television. They have no idea truly what's going on. And then, of course, when you try to, and you say, okay, this person really would like to have this discussion, it turns south very quickly. All of a sudden, you're getting called names. You're getting called a racist. You're getting called all these things because it's the easy way out. But I encourage you to try to have those conversations, but don't get sucked into it. We are so excited to announce the ACLJ's brand new app, completely redesigned to provide you with the best tools available to partner with us at the ACLJ. You can watch the daily Seculo program, sign the petitions, customize your ACLJ membership experience, donate with the click of a button, and receive up-to-the-minute critical updates that the mainstream media can't censor. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to your phone's app store, search ACLJ, and click install. It's that simple.